Merry Christmas, everybody. Trying to get a little festive with my Christmas headband. Hopefully, you all have had a wonderful Christmas so far. Can you guys see the lights? Hopefully, you're having a great day. I'm going to shift this down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Hopefully, you all have had a wonderful day so far. Hopefully, you had a great day yesterday. It was warm, 67. Saturday, of course, was 63, so it was warm as well. We are looking ahead, though, to the potential for some rain. I don't know why I said potential because it certainly is going to rain this afternoon. In fact, we're already tracking that moving into the Carolinas. So let's get right to the forecast. And of course, if you want to go back and watch any of this later, ask questions. I'll do my best to answer those as we progress throughout the day. You can see more clouds building in, but as I mentioned yesterday, if you were with us during the morning newscast on Saturday and Sunday, we are seeing sunshine still peeking through. So it's not a bad start to the Christmas holiday, but rain on the way. The one spot that is seeing some patchy drizzle this morning, though, there is a little bit of that action up in the mountains. The Beach Mountain Parkway camera, of course, it decided to stop working just before we came on. But I promised you there is some patchy drizzle out there, which we can actually see on satellite and radar here in just a second. Now, as we go throughout the day, rain chances are starting to increase, but rain right now moving through Georgia, eventually shifting into the upstate of South Carolina, which is actually kind of starting to happen right now. And then you can see those rain chances hour by hour starting to increase, but our high temperature is still going to be actually relatively mild, reaching the lower 60s before that rain starts to cool us off with some of that rain cooled air, which of course will come in by the afternoon. I think better rain chances not arriving into Charlotte until closer to about 2 o'clock, but there is at least a stray shower potential for areas west of 77 by the latter half of the morning hours and into the afternoon. And you'll see that here in just a second. So here's satellite and radar right now. Look at that little bit of patchy green, some lowered visibility, some more clouds up in the mountains. But elsewhere, we're just seeing some of those high clouds streaming in off and on across the Piedmont. It, of course, has been a nice start to our Christmas holiday. Wider view here, though, notice the rain starting to move into the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina as well, and then a lot of rain moving through Georgia right now. It's been pretty much consistent off and on through the morning, which of course is where my fam is right now over in Atlanta. And I'll be driving through some of that rain later on today to go over and see them after, of course, working the morning show this morning on WCNC Charlotte. So here's the hour by hour look here. As we get closer to 12 o'clock, here's lunchtime. Notice by the time we get closer to this time period, we see again a stray shower, mainly west of 77, but we're kind of just on the tail end here, kind of knocking on the doorstep of areas west of 77. So 2, 3 o'clock, that's when I'm expecting more consistent rainfall to arrive in the Piedmont. Merry Christmas, Mark. Merry Christmas, Joy. More consistent rainfall, though, by 4, 5, and 6. And it's after 6 p.m. that I do expect some of this rain to become a little bit heavier. And I also want to mention that the winds start to increase too as the storm system approaches. Winds will be peaking between 20 to 25 miles per hour tonight, but also getting close to 25 to 30 by tomorrow. So winds highest overnight tonight and into Tuesday. And this will kind of add a little bit more of a windy action here as we progress again overnight and into tomorrow. So I think we'll be mindful of this when it comes to our outdoor Christmas decorations and things like that on the back end of this low pressure system. Notice the heavier rain again after 6 o'clock tonight, and this will be especially noticeable tonight and into early Tuesday morning, especially again on the back end of that low pressure system, as we're especially watching the heavy rain and the pockets of really gusty winds heading into tomorrow morning. So it's definitely not going to be any if ands or buts about it when it comes to the heavy rain heading into Tuesday. So I love this graphic. Inflatable alerts heading into tonight and into tomorrow. Gusty winds coming in from the east at about 10 to 20, with those gusts at about 25 to 30. I, of course, just mentioned that. So I wouldn't say it's all the way down the street for the inflatables or the Christmas decorations, but certainly could knock over into the neighbor's yard. So just be aware of that. And I know that a lot of us have those Christmas decorations that are really, really special to us, and we really, really care a lot about them. So just be mindful of that as you're planning ahead for tonight and into tomorrow. If they make it though, after Tuesday, we're going to see no rain chances heading into the weekend ahead. Now, when it comes to rainfall totals, I think 1 to 2 inches for most of the area if you're in the Piedmont up toward the mountains, but there's a little sliver of the southern mountains and down toward the foothills where it's certainly possible that we could set up with heavier rain bands, 1 to 3 inches. This has been a relatively consistent trend here with our model data over the past day or so. And that's actually the reason why the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch in effect for Burke and Caldwell counties. I wouldn't be surprised if this was expanded into the mountains by the time we get closer to the latter half of today. This goes into effect at noon and lasts through 6 a.m. tomorrow. And again, this is for that potential for 1 to 3 inches. Now, if you're thinking, well, Brittany, we had two back-to-back weekends where we did have 2 inches or so closer in the Charlotte area. Well, keep in mind higher elevation, higher risk for some flooding just because of those elevation changes. And if you're in a low lying area prone to flooding and you're in the Burke Caldwell County area, you're especially the folks that they want to be aware. A flood watch, remember, watches are things where they tell you the ingredients are favorable for the potential of this happening. So it's not something that they're saying, hey, this is actively happening. They just want you to be alert. They want you to be aware, kind of like when we tell you to be weather aware. So if you're in this area, you just want to keep in mind, especially if you know you live in a low lying area or you're prone to flooding, that that will be a possibility as we head toward tonight and into tomorrow morning. And in fact, this is kind of an area as we expand from the southern mountains into the foothills and west into the western part of North Carolina that we'll see the heaviest bands with the system. That right now the flash flood threat is a little bit higher, so low to medium. This expands into the northern half there of the Carolina mountains into Virginia as we get closer to tomorrow, as the heavier rain kind of shifts northward. And then eventually it's pretty much out of our area as we get closer to Wednesday, as rain chances, of course, do begin to lower. So it's not something that I'm super, super concerned about right now, but I just want folks to be mindful of that as we look ahead. Merry Christmas, John. Hopefully you're having a great day. So afternoon showers today, winds turn breezy as we head overnight. Rain and even the potential for a few isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. And then rain chances are really heading out of here pretty quickly on Wednesday. And then colder and drier air shifts into the forecast by late Wednesday and into Thursday. We'll really start to feel that true cold air settling in by Friday and Saturday. Highs will struggle to reach the upper 40s to lower 50s. Lows will drop back down into the 20s. So you're probably going to have to add a jacket or something of that sort to those New Year's Eve and New Year's Day outfits if you are going to be out and about late on Sunday and into early Monday morning. And as we actually look ahead into the first few days of 2024, this trend of colder and drier air actually is going to continue, but it's just a little bit more typical for this time of year, which is a low of 50 or a low of 50 or 33, that is, and a high of 53. And you can see there as we look beyond into the first few days of 2024, next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be a little bit more typical for this time of year. So, folks, I just want you to know that this morning is dry. We have better rain chances this afternoon, but especially into the evening hours. Few thunderstorms tomorrow, winds turn breezy. And if you are in the southern mountains and into the foothills, just be aware that there is that low to moderate risk for some isolated flooding. So please be aware of that as we can accumulate 1 to 3 inches within the next 24 to 48 hours. So we will watch that chance for some heavy rain at times. KJ Jacobs will be in for Brad tonight for the I don't think there's a 4 o'clock newscast for the 5, 6, and 11 o'clock newscasts. And then Larry and Chris will be back tomorrow morning on WCNC Charlotte for the morning show. I hope everybody has a happy, safe, and healthy holiday. And we will, of course, see you back off and on throughout the week. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the forecast, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Facebook me, Instagram me, Twitter me, email me with any questions that you have. And I'll see you back here later on this week. And once I'm back from a little fam time, and we'll see you back on to Roderick. If I could change it to snow, I certainly would. And I'll see you back on Wake Up Charlotte weekend next weekend. And we are, of course, going to have Science Sunday as it is the last Sunday of 2023 as we look ahead to 2024. Hard to believe that it's almost here. Have a great day, everybody, and Merry Christmas.